Imagine a world where your social status was decided not by your family or wealth, but by the color of your shoes. In 17th century France, under King Louis XIV, there was a bizarre fashion law called the Shoe Color Code. The king loved extravagance, and his court at Versailles became a stage for strict rules on who could wear what, especially shoes. Nobles flaunted red heels, a symbol of their elite status. These weren't just any shoes. They were handmade, expensive, and a clear sign of privilege. But here's the crazy part. If you weren't nobility and dared to wear red heels, you could face fines or worse. This wasn't just about fashion. It was about control and hierarchy, literally putting a color on your place in society. Even Louis XIV himself famously wore red heels to assert his power, making the color synonymous with royalty. Outside the palace, common people had to stick to brown or black shoes, visibly marking their lower status. This practice shows how deeply social divisions were woven into everyday life, down to the very soles of people's feet. It also reveals how something as simple as shoe color was weaponized to maintain social order and exclusivity. Today, we might think of dress codes or brand labels as status symbols, but back then, the color of your shoes could determine your entire social identity. So next time you pick your shoes, ask yourself, are they just footwear, or could they be sending a message about who you are or want to be? History is full of surprising ways that people express and enforce social status, sometimes right down to their toes. But the story of the shoe color code goes even deeper than just footwear. It reflects a broader pattern of how fashion and appearance have been used throughout history as tools for power and control. In Louis XIV's France, the red heels were more than a trend. They were a visible badge of privilege that separated the ruling class from everyone else. The king's obsession with controlling every detail of court life, including what people wore, was part of his larger effort to centralize power and reinforce the monarchy's dominance. By dictating who could wear red heels, Louis XIV was sending a clear message. Your place in society was fixed and visible. This was a time when social mobility was limited, and symbols like shoe color helped keep the class system intact. Interestingly, the production of these red-heeled shoes was an art form in itself. Skilled cobblers crafted each pair by hand, often using luxurious materials like fine leather and silk ribbons. The red dye used for the heels was costly and difficult to produce, adding to the exclusivity. Wearing these shoes was not only a matter of taste, but also a demonstration of wealth and access to high-quality craftsmanship. The shoes became a walking statement of power and prestige. The consequences for breaking the shoe color code were severe. Commoners caught wearing red heels risked heavy fines, imprisonment, or public humiliation. This legal enforcement turned fashion into a weaponized form of social control, making sure that the visual cues of status were respected and unchallenged. It's a vivid example of how clothing and accessories have been regulated to maintain social hierarchies throughout history. Even beyond France, similar practices existed in other cultures and eras, where specific colors, fabrics, or styles were reserved for the elite. Think of the sumptuary laws in medieval Europe, or the use of purple robes by Roman emperors. These rules reinforced power structures and kept the lower classes visibly distinct from those at the top. Reflecting on the shoe color code encourages us to think critically about our own society's symbols of status. While we might not have laws about shoe colors today, we still use fashion, brands, and appearances to communicate identity and social standing. Are the shoes you wear just functional, or do they tell a story about you? In many ways, the shoes on our feet carry more meaning than we realize, connecting us to centuries of history where every detail mattered in the dance of power and identity.